In 2010, the British Navy launched a submarine that will never need to refuel, not once in 25 years of service. The nuclear reactor on board carries enough enriched uranium to run for the entire operational life of the vessel. The only reason it ever has to surface is food for the crew. And this isn't even the most impressive item on the list. If this kind of content is your thing, hit like and subscribe. We drop new videos every week. Let's go. Zubr LCACH. Most military ships stop at the waterline. The Zubr doesn't. This Russian hovercraft is the largest of its kind ever built, roughly 57 meters long and weighing over 550 tons when fully loaded. It rides on a cushion of air generated by massive turbines, which means the water-to-land boundary that stops every other ship simply doesn't apply here. It can cross open sea, hit a beach at speed, and keep moving through sand, marsh, and shallow obstacles without slowing down. The cargo hold can carry multiple main battle tanks, up to 3 T-72s, or a combination of armored vehicles. When configured for troops instead of armor, it fits around 140 fully equipped soldiers. Strip out the heavy equipment entirely, and that number jumps to 500 people. It also carries onboard weapon systems for fire support during the landing operation itself. Think about what that means in practice. One machine that crosses the ocean, storms the beach, and shoots back, all without a pier, a dock, or a pause. Tupolev Tu-95. This aircraft first flew in 1952. It is still in active service today. The Tupolev Tu-95 is a Soviet-era strategic bomber powered by 4 massive turboprop engines, each one turning a set of counter-rotating propellers. That configuration gave it something almost no propeller-driven aircraft has ever matched: the ability to sustain speeds above 900 kilometers per hour. It is also, famously, one of the loudest aircraft ever built. The contra-rotating props generate a noise signature so distinctive that NATO submarines could reportedly detect it through the water. Originally designed to carry nuclear bombs deep into enemy territory, the Tupolev Tu-95 never stopped evolving. Modern variants like the Tu-95MS have been converted into long-range cruise missile platforms, capable of launching strikes from outside the range of most air defense systems. A design born in the early Cold War, still relevant enough to fly combat missions in the 21st century. That's either impressive engineering or a serious problem for everyone else, depending on which side you're on. Alvis Stormer. Not every military machine earns its reputation through speed or firepower. Some earn it through the ability to become something different depending on what the mission demands. The British Alvis Stormer started life as a tracked armored platform derived from the CVRT family, a lineage that also includes the Scorpion light tank. On its own, the base vehicle is fast, relatively light, and mobile enough to operate on terrain that would stop heavier machines. But the Stormer's real value is what you can bolt onto it. Over time, the platform was adapted into configurations including an air defense system armed with Starstreak high-velocity missiles, capable of engaging low-flying aircraft and helicopters. Another variant, the Stormer 30, mounted an automatic 30mm cannon in a full turret. The same hull, completely different threats addressed. In military logistics, that kind of flexibility saves billions. You don't design a new vehicle from scratch for every new threat. You build a platform that absorbs the upgrade. The Stormer is proof that adaptability can be just as decisive as raw power. Otokar Cobra. Turkey built a vehicle in the 1990s that managed to do something difficult: combine protection, mobility, and modularity in a compact package that actually worked. The Otokar Cobra is a light armored vehicle built on a platform related to the HMMWV, but with a purpose-built armored body designed for real combat environments. Its protection levels can be upgraded through add-on armor kits, adapting the same base vehicle to different threat levels. The Cobra can be configured as a troop carrier, reconnaissance vehicle, command post, or weapons platform depending on what the mission requires. And then there's the amphibious version. Certain variants of the Cobra can enter the water and propel themselves using rear-mounted water jets. A vehicle that drives on roads, crosses rough terrain, and swims without switching platforms. That combination of capabilities helped the Cobra find buyers in over 20 countries across 4 continents. When a compact armored vehicle earns that kind of international adoption, the engineering behind it is doing something right. Humvee. In 1983, the US Army needed one vehicle to replace a dozen different ones. What they got was the Humvee, and eventually an icon. The high-mobility, multi-purpose wheeled vehicle was developed by AM General to serve as a universal platform for the American military. The requirements were demanding. It had to handle troops, cargo, weapons, communications equipment, and do all of it across terrain that would destroy a standard truck. The solution was a wide, low center of gravity body combined with independent suspension on all 4 wheels and 16 inches of ground clearance, enough to crawl over obstacles that would stop most civilian off-road vehicles. What happened next was the result of genuine versatility. Over time, more than a dozen distinct variants were developed. Ambulances, tow missile carriers, armored personnel versions, vehicles with remote weapon stations that allow the gunner to operate a heavy machine gun from inside the protection of the hull. By the time of the Gulf War, the Humvee had replaced the Jeep almost entirely across the US military. One platform, thousands of configurations, still in service after 4 decades.
E-2 Hawkeye. 5 people, 1 turboprop aircraft, and the ability to control an entire air battle from 25,000 feet. The E-2 Hawkeye is not a fighter. It doesn't carry missiles or drop bombs. What it does is arguably more important. It sees everything first. The most obvious feature is the rotodome, a 7.3-meter disc mounted above the fuselage that houses the radar system. Rotating at roughly 6 revolutions per minute, it provides a 360-degree picture of the airspace around the aircraft, out to ranges that vary with altitude and conditions, but routinely cover areas no ground-based radar can match at sea. 2 pilots fly the aircraft. The other 3 crew members, mission system operators, manage radar tracking, electronic warfare data, and real-time coordination between surface ships, command centers, and strike aircraft. The Hawkeye doesn't just watch, it directs. During combat operations, it functions as an airborne command post, identifying threats, coordinating intercepts, and feeding targeting data to aircraft that may never see the enemy on their own sensors. It's been in continuous service with the US Navy since 1964. The current E-2D Advanced Hawkeye variant is still being produced. More than 60 years of relevance. In military aviation, that doesn't happen by accident. Su-35S. 1 pilot, 2 engines with thrust vectoring, and a radar that can track 30 targets simultaneously while engaging 8 of them at once. The Su-35S is Russia's most capable non-stealth fighter, a deep evolution of the Su-27 flanker family that pushes the limits of what a 4th-generation airframe can do. The thrust vectoring system is what makes it visually dramatic. By redirecting the exhaust from both AL-41F1S engines independently, the Su-35S can execute maneuvers that defy normal aerodynamics, pointing its nose in directions that have nothing to do with the direction it's actually moving. At altitude, it exceeds Mach 2. Its combat radius, without external tanks, stretches beyond 1,600 kilometers. The Urbis E radar can detect a fighter-sized target at around 350 to 400 kilometers in ideal conditions. Paired with a weapons loadout that can include long-range air-to-air missiles, anti-ship missiles, and precision ground attack munitions across 12 hardpoints, the aircraft is designed to operate across multiple mission types in a single sortie. No stealth, no second crew member, just speed, sensors, and the ability to point the aircraft wherever the pilot needs it, regardless of physics.
The V-22 Osprey took 25 years and roughly 70 lives, counting development crashes, before the US military declared it ready for combat. The engineering challenge was that ambitious. The Osprey is a tilt-rotor aircraft. On the wingtips, 2 large rotors sit inside nacelles that can rotate from vertical to horizontal. For takeoff and landing, it operates like a helicopter, no runway required. Once airborne, the rotors tilt forward and the aircraft flies like a turboprop plane. That transition changes everything about what the machine can do. A conventional helicopter maxes out around 300 kilometers per hour. The Osprey cruises at 446 kilometers per hour and has a ferry range of over 3,800 kilometers with auxiliary tanks, nearly double what a comparable helicopter can manage. Both engines are connected through a cross-shaft drivetrain, meaning if one engine fails completely, the other can continue powering both rotors. The aircraft also uses composite materials for roughly 59% of its airframe to keep the weight manageable given the complexity of the system. In combat configuration, it carries up to 24 troops or 9,000 pounds of internal cargo. It's expensive, mechanically complex, and had a deeply troubled development history. It's also the only aircraft in the world that can do exactly what it does.
Astute-class submarine. Most submarines need to surface eventually to restock supplies or take on fuel. The Astute class doesn't need to refuel, ever. Britain's most advanced nuclear attack submarines are powered by a Rolls-Royce PWR-2 reactor that uses enough enriched uranium to run for the entire planned service life of the boat, roughly 25 years, without a single refueling stop. The limiting factor on how long an Astute can stay submerged isn't fuel, it's food for the crew. The propulsion system uses a pump jet instead of a conventional propeller, reducing the acoustic signature of the submarine and making it significantly harder to detect. Each boat carries Spearfish heavyweight torpedoes and Tomahawk cruise missiles, weapons capable of striking targets on land from hundreds of miles away while the submarine remains undetected underwater. The sonar suite spans multiple systems and can reportedly detect contacts at ranges that dwarf what surface ships can manage. 7 submarines are planned for the class.
5 have been commissioned so far. A vessel that can stay hidden for months, strike targets hundreds of miles inland, and never needs to surface for fuel. That's not a ship. That's a strategic weapon that happens to look like one.
K-52 Alligator. Attack helicopters already have a short list of ways to survive being shot down. The K-52 has one that almost no other helicopter in the world can claim: an ejection seat. Getting a crew out of a stricken helicopter is a nearly impossible engineering problem. Rotor blades spin directly above the crew compartment. Any ejection system has to deal with them first. The K-52 solves this with explosive charges that shear the rotor blades away before the seats fire, clearing the path in milliseconds. It works, and it almost never exists on helicopters. The K-52 itself uses a coaxial rotor system, 2 sets of blades on the same shaft spinning in opposite directions. No tail rotor needed. That design improves maneuverability and eliminates one of the most common failure points on conventional helicopters. 2 crew members sit side by side, not in tandem, which changes how targeting and cockpit workload are distributed between them. The weapons loadout includes a 30mm cannon, unguided rockets, and anti-tank guided missiles. The sensor suite combines radar, thermal imaging, and a laser rangefinder for target acquisition. It is, from the rotor head to the ejection system, a helicopter engineered around problems that most manufacturers decided weren't worth solving. And that's the list. 10 machines that operate in ways most vehicles simply can't, crossing beaches without stopping, flying 2 completely different ways in the same sortie, staying submerged for decades without refueling, or giving a helicopter crew the same last resort option fighter pilots have had for 70 years. If one of these surprised you, drop it in the comments. I want to know which one. Like the video if you made it this far, and subscribe if you want more content like this every week. See you in the next one.